Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Giggity, my name is Man. And in today's video, we are going to be, almost every single one of these videos, I almost say continuing our series, ranking every single gun in every single Call of Duty game from worst to best in chronological order. And obviously last time we just did Infinite Warfare, so now today we are ranking all 75 Call of Duty World War II guns from worst to best. This is by far the most guns in any Call of Duty so far, and I do think it's probably going to be the one with the most in the end. I don't think any game really beat this game. This game had a ridiculous amount of guns in it. Also, I want to make this abundantly clear before we even get into the video at all whatsoever. So many of these guns I have never even heard of before, so I am 100% not qualified to be talking about these guns. The only reason why I'm talking about them and stuff like that is because I'm a completionist. I feel like I have to complete the series, and it drives me nuts if I just left out World War II. So please, for the love of God, do not take this video very seriously. Also, some of the names I am 100% going to butcher too. So a lot of these names are like Polish or freaking German, and I cannot speak that, obviously, so keep that in mind. I am currently playing this game like crazy. As a matter of fact, I went from like level 2 to level 30 in one day last night because I was like falling in love with this game all over again. And so I am eventually at some point in the future probably going to do an updated list once I actually use every single one of these guns and everything like that. But that's very time consuming. It's going to take forever for me to get all the guns in World War II, obviously, and so yeah, we're going to do it now. Also, we are ranking this just based on personal preference. Like I said, I'm not a pro or anything like that, so even if I did know these guns, it really wouldn't matter anyways, because the thing I like to base my how much I like guns off of is pretty much the looks. I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, if it looks good, I'm probably going to use it. Like if it looks cool and I feel cool using it, I'm probably going to use the gun. Also, we're not ranking any of the grenades or melee weapons because those are not guns, and I have a whole other video planned out for those anyways. So we're only multiplayer primary and secondaries. No campaign only weapons either. No freaking kill streak holdable guns, or no zombies wonder weapon. Just multiplayer primary and secondary guns in the game. Okay, we're splitting it up into 6 tiers: the awful tier, bad tier, average tier, good tier, amazing tier, and the best tier. And song of the day is called Beamer, Benz, or Bentley by Lloyd Banks. It's an early 2000s rap song. It is a certified hood classic. I love listening to these kinds of songs right around this time of year. It gets you in the mood for summer, man. Which actually brings me into my last little bit of thing I needed to mention in the intro before we get into the video. It's around that time of year. I live in Connecticut, so it's around that time of year where like the weather is bipolar. So literally 3 days ago it snowed, and now today it's like 60 degrees out and hot. And so because of that, it's causing my sinuses to just start playing freaking hopscotch over there. And so I have like a sore throat today because of that. My sinuses are just working overtime. So if I sound, you know, raspy or nasally today, that's the reason why. I deeply apologize. But either way, without further ado, let's go right into it. Number 75, my least favorite gun in all of Call of Duty World War II. But yeah, number 75, the worst gun in the game, is going to the M1 bazooka. Also, I know there is like a riot shield if you turn on the cavalry division in this game. We're not counting that because, first of all, it's a riot shield and you can't earn camos for it. And because you can't earn camos for it, I don't really think of it that important. But if you do count it, then that would be dead last because it's a riot shield and nobody's ever going to use that. So that's 76th place either way. 75th, though, is the M1 bazooka. The M1 bazooka is a bazooka. It's pretty cool. You know, the word bazooka just reminds you of like when you were a little kid and that's the only word you knew when it came to rocket launchers. You'd always just say bazooka, and so it felt cool in that sense, but besides that, it's a bazooka. And coming in at 74th place is the Panzerschreck, the other grenade launcher in this game. Luckily, this game actually only has 2 grenade launchers in it. I think this is the game with the lowest amount of grenade launchers in the entire series, and both of them are actually like pretty decent grenade launchers too. They can take down kill streaks and kill enemies, which is nice, actually. I got to give credit where credit is due. Like, this game had, yes, 75 weapons, but most of them were guns. They were not just random bazookas and stuff like that. And as a matter of fact, they only had like 10 melee weapons too. Like in Black Ops 3, they had a ton of DLC weapons, but like 25 of them were melees. In this game, most of the DLC weapons were guns, which was actually really cool. They put a lot of work into this game. Either way, the Panzerschreck is a Panzerschreck. It's a pretty big gun. It's good in zombies. Coming in at 73rd place is going to the crossbow. Yeah, again, I guess I'll talk about it here again. I just want to make it very, very clear, guys. I did not use any of these DLC weapons. I used a couple of them at the very beginning, like the GPMG and the Sten. When they came out with those at the very beginning of World War II's life cycle, I was still playing that game. But then I stopped playing it like halfway through World War II's life cycle and just started playing Fortnite like everybody else. And so a lot of these guns, like I said, I don't have much experience with them. However, I have been playing the game like crazy recently, like absolutely insane amounts of time into the game. It's so much fun. I'm literally addicted to it. But either way, I do know a little bit now. Either way, the crossbow being at 73rd, it's a crossbow. It's meant for fun, obviously. Crossbows are always in Call of Duty games, and they're always just meant to be like a fun weapon, not an actually good weapon. Coming in at the number 72 spot, 72nd location, is going to the Enfield number 2. Another thing about World War II, actually, is even with the DLC guns that they did add, only 2 guns were added that were pistols, too. So, literally, they had 75 guns in this game, and only 4 of those were weapons that I thought were kind of like weak, because in my opinion, obviously bazookas and grenade launchers are weak additions. They don't take a lot of like time to make or anything like that. And then pistols are also just like a weak addition. The rest of the guns though are like actually like weapons where you'd be excited to get them, even though they're bad. You'd be excited to get them. The Enfield number 2 though is just like a small revolver, and there's really no point in using this when there's another revolver in this game that's just so much better. Coming in at 71st place, and barely missing out on the top 70 here, is going to the Gewehr 43. Again, sorry if I'm mispronouncing Gewehr there. I've always thought it was Gewehr, but it could be like Gewehr. I have no idea. I'm American. I'm a stupid burger-eating American. So either way, the Gewehr 43 is a DLC semi-auto rifle. I'm just not the biggest fan of things like that, man. DLC, first of all, it already, takes away a couple of points. We're going to notice that a lot with a lot of guns in this video, is that if they are DLC, I'm taking away a little bit of points from them, because you have to like really, really work and dedicate a lot of time just to get that one gun. And so if you're going to do all that, it better be pretty good. And I just don't really care for semi-auto rifles. Breaking its way into the top 70, however, is going to the M2 carbine. For people that are going to be like, whoa, wait a minute. This is just a full auto version of the M1A1 carbine, and you just said you don't like semi-auto guns. So why is the M2 carbine lower than the M1A1? Because I think that's even more of an insult to make like a semi-auto gun and then turn it into a full auto version of that gun and then release it as a completely separate weapon and turn it, like, say that it's like a DLC gun. Like, that's just stupid. I actually think I would rather use the M1A1 carbine over the M2 carbine. So that's why it's here at number 70. Coming in at number 69, nice. It's the only time I think in this entire series I'm going to be able to say that, is going to the Type 5. Type 5 is pretty much the exact same thing as the Gewehr 43 in my opinion. It looks a little bit cooler though, so I put it 2 spots higher. But yeah, in my opinion, they're no different. It's another semi-auto DLC rifle in this game. I don't have much else to say about it. Moving on. And coming in at 68th place, and the final one for the awful tier. That's another thing I actually have to give credit where credit is due when it comes to World War II, is that a lot of the guns, even the added guns, were actually pretty good too. Like, you wouldn't even be that upset if you got, like, even this gun, you wouldn't be that upset if you got it in the supply drop. It's the Chatellerault. The Chatellerault, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's an LMG, and it has one of the worst iron sights of all time, in my opinion. The iron sights look absolutely horrendous. I don't want this gun. As a matter of fact, yesterday while I was playing, there's this really easy way to get guns in this game where you can spend 5,000 armory credits to unlock like a sort of like a quest, I guess you can call it. It's called orders, but it's sort of like a quest that you can do. If you do that quest within a certain time limit, you can get a gun. And that was the gun. This was the gun for yesterday, the Chatellerault, for 5k points. I did not spend my 5k points on this piece of crap. All right, but now we are into the bad tier. So guns in this tier, they're just not good enough. They're in my opinion, they do not meet the criteria for a good enough World War II weapon. And coming in at 67th place, and the first one for the bad tier, is the SDK 9mm. It's a bolt action sniper, so I know what you're thinking. I thought you love bolt action snipers, Mark. Thought you're a big fan of them. I am, but it's a DLC bolt action sniper, and this game actually had a ton of bolt action snipers. That's the one thing World War II did great as well, is they actually had, for snipers, there was a ton of options. There was so many that you could use. And this one, it looks so horrendously ugly that I would just like never recommend using it. Even if it was the best bolt action sniper in this game, which it's not, but even if it was, I still wouldn't use it, because look at what it looks like. I don't want to use that. It looks bad. Coming in at 66th place is a little bit of an upgrade from the Advanced Warfare version of this gun, but still not great. The Blunderbuss. The Blunderbuss is obviously more so kind of like the crossbow, where it's obviously meant to be like a fun style weapon. It's a weapon that you're just supposed to get like funny clips with, and you're not meant to be like seriously getting freaking V2 rockets with a blunderbuss in this game. But either way, I'm not, super excited to use it. Is it better in my opinion than like the last blunderbuss that we saw in Advanced Warfare? Definitely, it definitely is. But I still am not like, I don't want the blunderbuss. You know what I mean? I'm not excited to get a blunderbuss in this game. Coming in at 65th place, however, is another DLC bolt action sniper in this game, just like the SDK. As a matter of fact, it's very, very similar to the SDK, the Delisle. The Delisle, in my opinion, is slightly cooler looking than the SDK, but overall it's still a really ugly looking sniper rifle, and I don't want to use this thing. It's everything I said about the SDK applies to the Delisle. Coming in at 64th place, I believe it's the first gun in this entire list that isn't a DLC weapon. Besides the launcher, it is the only one so far, the Bren. And that's what I mean. This is what I mean. Like, the Bren still sucks because of the same reason why the Chatellero sucks as well. It has really, really bad iron sights, and the magazine completely blocks your right side of your screen while aiming down sights. That's obviously super annoying, and I hate that. But since it is a base gun, you don't have to like spend a ton of time or a ton of like even money if you decide to buy supply drops or whatever to try and get it on this gun. It does earn a little bit more respect in that regard. Everybody gets to at least use this one. 63rd place is one DLC gun that in my limited amount of time playing World War II with all the DLC guns, I actually got to pick up and use a little bit because somebody dropped it in a shipment 1944 24/7 game. The Stinger, another LMG actually, not the Stinger that you are thinking about. No, it's an LMG, and again has pretty bad iron sights. The one I picked up didn't have a sight on it, so I got to see the iron sights. Was not impressed with those whatsoever. But the worst part about it is it shoots so freaking slow. Imagine the Gorgon from Black Ops 3. But even worse. Like, again, that's just like, in my opinion, just an insult, man, because you're already spending 5,000 at least armory credits on it to get the order for it. But if you're crafting it with, like, you know, the collection stuff, it's even more than that. And then you get this horribly slow firing bad LMG. Not a fan. Coming in at 62nd place, however, is going to be going to the M1 Garand, the most World War II gun of all time. This gun just screams World War II. When you think of World War II, you think of M1 Garands. It's just like the World War II gun. For those who don't know, and if you're watching this video and you're a Call of Duty fan, I guarantee you do know. But if you don't somehow, the M1 Garand is a single fire rifle that has a really, really cool reload sound. It has this like ping noise when the clip comes flying out, and that's pretty cool. A lot of people, in order to reload it, you used to have to stick your thumb like pretty much in it, and the chamber would come back and pinch your thumb, and they called it Garand Thumb. There's actually a whole YouTube channel where his name is Garand Thumb based around that because of like how popular it was. It's an iconic gun, sure, but again, it's a semi-auto rifle. I'm just not a fan of those. Coming in at 61st place, barely missing out on the top 60, is going to the 9mm SAP. This is the last pistol you unlock in the game, pretty much. So the way this game worked is every class had a gun at the end of the class, almost like in Black Ops 1 where it was like a classified gun. But the way you unlocked that gun was not by leveling up. It was by prestiging one of the divisions that you were playing with. And so one of the division rewards for prestiging was this, and in my opinion it was the weakest of all of them, because you were prestiging just to get a pistol, and then the pistol wasn't even that good compared to the rest of the pistols in the game. I just thought it was a bit of a wacky one. Raking its way into the top 60, however, is going to the Ribby Rolls. I really hope that's how you pronounce it, because if it is, that's hilarious, but it's probably not. I'm sure there's some other way to pronounce that. Either way, it's an SMG. I believe this is the first SMG we've talked about this entire list so far. It is the first SMG, in my opinion, the worst SMG, because it's a DLC SMG that just looks so bad. I do not like how this thing looks in the slightest bit. I know I'm basing that all off of looks alone, and so I'm sure there's gonna be some World War II veteran out here, not actual veteran, but you know what I mean, like a World War II player veteran out here that's like, no, the Ribby Rolls is actually like one of the best SMGs. I don't care, I don't want to look at that thing. Coming in at the number 59 spot, however, is going to be going to the sawed-off shotgun. I was going to say this is the worst shotgun in the game, but technically the blunderbuss is a shotgun, so that's the worst one. But this is it's the worst real shotgun. The blunderbuss is like a musket. Yeah, the sawed-off shotgun just freaking sucks. It's a double-barrel sawed-off shotgun like you expect it to be, and there's another double-barrel shotgun in this game that's already not that great, if I'm being honest, and then this is sawed-off, so it has even less range, and that's the problem with the other shotgun, the other double-barrel, is that it has no range, and if you have even less range, the sawed-off shotgun sucks, okay? Do not use this shotgun. It is horrendous compared to any other shotgun in the game. Coming in at 58th place is, in my opinion, very, very similar to guns like the M1 Garand, but just overall just better. The M1A1 Carbine, it's another semi-auto rifle. This one is not a DLC weapon, so everybody can get it, which is a good thing, obviously. But overall, it's a single-fire rifle. The only good part about the M1A1 is it has a lot less recoil, fires a lot faster, has more ammo in the mag than the M1 Garand. It's just overall, in my opinion, a better gun than the M1 Garand. But at the same time, I still am not a fan of single-fire rifles, like I've mentioned multiple times. And coming in at 57th place, another sniper rifle, another technically, actually this isn't bolt action, it's a lever action. It's literally called the lever action. So it's a lever action sniper rifle, which is cool. You know, you kind of fit into like the whole Wild West theme with this gun, except that in my opinion doesn't make sense in the World War II setting, and that's why it's all the way down here at number 57. It's yet again, it's fine in terms of actually like damage and sniping, and if you want to be a quick scoper or whatever, the lever action is a fine option. I'm not saying it's actually a bad gun. I'm just saying that, like, are you actually like excited to use lever action? Because in my opinion, I'm not. It just doesn't feel right in World War II setting. It feels like it should be in a freaking civil war or something. Coming in at number 56 spot, however, is going to the SVT-40. The SVT-40 is another, yet again, single-fire rifle. That's, you know, for the rifles class. I do believe this is the gun that you get when prestiging the assault rifle division, if I'm not mistaken. What is the assault rifle division called? Mountaineer or something like that, maybe? I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but either way, I'm pretty sure that's how you get the SVT-40, and if it is, that's pretty big insult, if I'm being honest. Like, you're prestiging a division just to get a semi-auto weapon. I'm not too excited about that. I looked it up real quick just to make sure I was right, because I was like, I don't want to sound like an idiot, and I was right. It's the infantry division, though. The infantry division, once you prestige that, which is pretty much like the assault division, you get the SVT-40. Either way, coming in at number 55 spot is going to the M267. Yep, this thing is, first of all, let's just go over the obvious. The name, M267. That's a pretty, I'm gonna be honest, that's a pretty boring name for a gun. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And then on top of that, it looks just so weird. It literally looks like a Lego gun. Like it does not look like a real gun at all. It's an SMG that I also have never seen anybody freaking use it in any of the lobbies I've played in recently. I can't imagine this thing is that good. It just doesn't work for me. I realized I just forgot to talk about this gun. I completely skipped over it. So I'm going to talk about it now. You guys won't see that. You guys will see, because of the power of editing, it in its correct location. But either way, 54th place is the Austin. The Austin is another SMG, just like the M267, that I just am not the biggest fan of. I just don't really see the big the big old hoopla when it comes to the Austin. It's got an okay name, and it's actually, I believe the Austin is actually a relatively, like, you know, iconic gun from World War II history. But overall, it's just like, for any of these SMGs with the barrel sticking out of the side, the magazine sticking out of the side, this is definitely the most forgettable one. And coming in at number 53 spot is going to be going to the MG15, another LMG. The LMG, I will say, the LMGs in World War II are actually not the worst LMGs of all time, but this one just, like, I'm just not the biggest fan of this one, man. I do not like how it looks. Yet again, it literally looks like just like they took like a copper pipe, added a couple sights to it, put a magazine on it, and called it a day. And like, that was the gun. I understand it's realistic, and this is like a realistic style gun from World War II setting, but I don't like that style. Coming in at 52nd place, however, is going to be going to the other DLC handgun that they added into the game, the Reichs Revolver. The Reichs Revolver is a bigger, pretty much heavier hitting, better range version of the Enfield number 2. The Enfield number 2 boasts a better, like, handling speed, like you can run around with it faster, but since they're both pistols, they both have pretty good handling speeds anyways, so you really don't care that much about the extra handling speed with the Enfield, and the Reichs Revolver is overall just a better pick in my opinion. It also just feels cooler running around with a bigger revolver in your hands during a World War II setting. Like, you just feel like a boss. Coming in at 51st place, however, in the final one for the bad tier, before we move along into the average tier, is going to the Carabin. The Carabin is this game's semi-auto sniper rifle. I don't think this game needed that many semi-auto sniper rifles, if I'm being honest, because they pretty much all the semi-auto sniper rifles that you could want are in the assault rifles class as semi-auto, you know, rifles. But the Carabin does hit harder than guns like the M1 Garand and M1A1 Carbine, and it is one of those semi-auto style weapons in this game, in like COD history, where it feels fine to use it even if you like bolt action snipers, because it does get a lot of one-shot hits and is overall like a pretty okay weapon. At the end of the day, though, I'm just still not a fan of semi-auto snipers. Alrighty, lads, but now we are into the average tier. So guns in this tier in World War II are very, very average. There's quite a bit of guns in this tier, if I'm being honest. Not a lot of them are very special in any way. They're kind of like, this is like kind of like the forgettable tier for COD World War II. In 50th place, breaking its way into the top 50, as a matter of fact, is the MG81. Another LMG that just, like I said, man, this is just so freaking forgettable. It's like weirdly small too. It has like what you believe to be a bipod, but if that is a bipod down there, it is the largest bipod known to mankind, because it's like 5 inches out of the barrel. Like this bipod is absolutely massive. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Coming in at number 49 spot is a gun that unfortunately got nerfed into the ground. It's the Wafa 28. The Wafa 28 is pretty much this game's version of like the Vesper from Black Ops 3. It's a base gun, you know, it's not a DLC gun, which is a good thing. I keep realizing I'm forgetting to mention that. So yeah, things like the MG15, by the way, that's also like a base gun. The Reichs Revolver's DLC, Carabin's base, MG81's DLC, Wafa 28 base gun. But yeah, this is like a very, very fast firing SMG with a lot of recoil and stuff like that. That's kind of the whole point of this gun. It was really good at first, and they nerfed it into the ground. All right, coming in at number 48 spot. Do you guys remember earlier in the video when I talked about the Austin and how I said I forgot to talk about it? That's where I forgot to talk about it. Just between those two, between the Wafa 28 and the M38, which is what we're talking about now, is where I realized I forgot to talk about it. Either way, 48th place is the M38. Goodness gracious. This gun is like, if you like, literally imagine you had a child, like a 10-year-old child, draw a submachine gun. That is what the M38 is. That is literally exactly what the M38 is. It is just like the most average looking SMG of all time. I've never seen it really be used in any of the shipment lobbies I've been playing recently either, so I can't imagine it's that great. Coming in at number 47 spot, however, is going to be going to the AVS 36, another semi-auto rifle. Yet again, I mean, how many of these do we freaking need, Call of Duty? I'm just gonna put it out there, man. I understand that they wanted to put a ton of DLC weapons into World War II, and I respect that. I do. I think that's actually pretty cool, man. I like having a ton of DLC weapons. I think that's awesome. If more CODs followed this trend, I would have been a happy lad. I would have been the happiest camper of all time. My camp would have been sounding like a freaking music festival because of how happy of a camper I would have been. But some of these guns I don't think we needed, and guns like this, the AVS 36. I don't think we needed this. Okay, coming in at number 46 spot. This is one of the weirdest looking guns of all time. It's the Remastered SPZ. First of all, not only the name matches the design of this gun. Remastered, like that is just such a dorky name, and the gun is so dorky as well. I don't even know how to describe what this gun looks like. Like, you guys are going to be looking at the gameplay footage of it, so you won't be able to get to see it. You're probably going to be like, what is this guy talking about? It looks relatively normal. Like, yeah, it's kind of circular, but that doesn't look really bad. No. Look up on Google or something, or go into the game and actually look at what this gun actually looks like, and you'll be like, what in God's name is that thing? It is so weird looking. And just because it's weird looking is the reason why I'm putting it here. All right, yep. Just going to apologize in advance for all my Polish boys out there because I am 100% butchering this name. Coming in at the number 45 spot is the Blizkowicz. Did I get that even close to correct? Please let me know in the comment. If I did, I will literally jump with joy. Either way, it's another SMG. Yeah, spoiler alert. A lot of SMGs in this game are fine. Like the Blizkowicz, again, sorry, it's not actually that bad or anything. I'm not saying it's a bad SMG. It's just there are some very strong SMGs in this game, and so it has to be very strong as well. And this gun just looks like if you took a Sten and put the magazine on the bottom of it. All right, coming in at the number 44 spot, however, is going to be going to the P08. This is this game's starter pistol, pretty much. It's a Luger, man. It's a Hawk Loogie. Oh, whoa, Hawk 2, a Hawk Louis, yes, sir. Either way, that's what it is. And it's fine for a starting pistol. No real complaints there. It's iconic, obviously. I love the firing mechanisms of the Luger in real life, how it freaking claps back at you like that. I think that's really cool. And in this game, it does its job in being a starting pistol and everything. Got no real complaints with it, but overall, you're going to use this over any of the other pistols? I don't think so. Coming in at number 43 spot is another extremely weird looking assault rifle. There's a lot of actually very weird looking World War II guns I've come to learn after looking up all the guns for this game. It's the NZ41. This gun looks like, honestly, I don't even know how to describe it. It looks like the gun is just a Frankenstein version of a bunch of other guns. It looks like if you like went into a clock, like a grandfather clock, and just took out pieces of the grandfather clock and made it into a gun. It looks weird, is what I'm trying to get at. And I don't know if it's a good weird or a bad weird, but overall, after watching videos of this gun, it doesn't seem like anything I'm too impressed with. And coming in at the number 42 spot, another reason why I don't really care too much about World War II adding so many guns is because all the names are so like they always get mixed up in my mind. Like I have to keep looking these up to remind myself what I'm talking about. Because 42nd place is the KG M21. Like who's gonna remember what that is? In my opinion, it looks exactly like the bar. For those who don't know what the bar is, well, it looks like the bar. That's what it looks like, and that's fine. But like, why would we really need a second version of the bar? Is my whole thing. Like, I would just rather just use the bar that you have in the game than this gun. Barely missing out on the top 40 here. Coming in at the number 41 spot is going to be going to the wonderful Sterling. Yep, the Sterling. It's fine. It's a very, very, very small SMG, and it reminds me a lot, again, of guns like the Type 100, the Wafa 28, the Sten, or anything like along those lines, where the magazine comes out of the side of it. And that's, in my opinion, that's the reason why it's it's so tough because I do like the fact that World War II added so many guns, but at the end of the day, a lot of the guns ended up just kind of like falling into one big pile because this gun just doesn't really separate itself from the other ones looks-wise. Like, it just looks exactly like the other guns. Alrighty, lads, but breaking its way into the top 40 now, coming in at the number 40 spot, is the 1911. The M9... Oh my goodness, I just burped. The M1911 making its way back, okay? Yeah, it's fine. It's good for a semi-auto pistol. I don't think it's like significantly better than the P08 or anything. I do think it's slightly better, but not by enough to make it like that much higher. That's why they're only separated by a couple guns. They're very, very similar in my opinion, but the 1911 is obviously the 1911. It's such an iconic pistol, man. Everybody loves the 1911, and so I had to put it a little bit higher because you just love the 1911, man. It's just so good. Is it as good as the Black Ops 1 1911? Gosh, no, but it's a good gun. Coming in at the number 39 spot, though, ladies and gentlemen, is the Lewis. Hey, that's my little brother's middle name, Lewis. Isn't that crazy? It's an LMG. It's a starting LMG, as a matter of fact, and it's kind of like a pizza gun scenario, like the DP-28 from World at War, where the magazine is set on the top of the gun and it like rotates, which is cool. The iron sights are actually fine, which is very, very rare for an LMG in World War II. All the LMGs in this game had horrible iron sights, and the iron sights for this gun are relatively okay, which is enough. It's overall, it's a fine starting LMG. Like, are you excited to use it? Definitely not. But are you like mad about using it? No, it's okay. And coming in at the number 38 spot is actually another one of the starting weapons in this game, the M1928. The M1928 is the starting assault rifle in this game. If I'm not mistaken, there's like 2 other M19 style weapons, so I'm just going to look it up real quick. Yep, I'm an idiot. Okay, take back everything I just said. The M1928 is the Thompson. I don't know why. Actually, I do know exactly why, because the other one's called the M1941, okay? They're like the same freaking thing. Either way, the Thompson's super iconic, but unfortunately, it's never actually been that good. Like, even in World at War, the Thompson wasn't that good of a gun. It's not that good of a gun in World War II. I don't think it was that great in Vanguard either. Like, overall, it's never been that great. It's just been a very, very iconic gun. Coming in at the number 37 spot, however, is going to the AS-44, the AS-44. This one, for some reason, even though it's just a bunch of letters and numbers like every other gun in this game, it actually does stand out a little bit for some reason. I always remembered this one. It's just an assault rifle. It looks fine. It kind of looks a little boring. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the what's the gun we were talking about earlier there that was just like so boring looking. Was it the M267? Was that the gun? No, that one looked weird. Can't remember what it was. There was a gun that we were talking about earlier. Oh, the A. No, that's not it either. Whatever. There was a gun we were talking about earlier. Oh, the M38. That's what it was. The M38. That just looked like very boring. It looked like a kid drew it. That's what the AS-44 reminds me of. It's just a very boring looking gun, and it's a fine assault rifle. Coming in at the number 36 spot is going to another LMG with pretty bad iron sights, the LAD machine gun. That's literally what it's called. The word machine gun is a part of this gun's name. It's another DLC LMG, obviously, with, like I said, pretty bad iron sights. Most of the iron sights in these games are pretty bad, but the only part, the good part about the LED is it's actually a really fast gun. I know I don't really get to use all these guns, but I did get to pick this one up, and upon using it for an LMG, it felt fast, and it felt like pretty overall decent. It also doesn't really remind you that much of a World War II gun, too, which is honestly kind of cool to see, because all the gun guns in this game, like I said, they all kind of remind you of themselves, but this one separates itself a little bit. And coming in at the number 35 spot, and the final one for the average tier before we move along into the good tier, is the Nambu Type 2. Pretty cool name, Nambu. That reminds me of bamboo, which is what the freaking pandas eat, which is obviously good. But overall, for the actual gun itself, it just looks kind of wacky. I actually have seen a lot of people using this though in my lobbies, which is kind of the reason why I'm putting it a little bit higher than I think it deserves to be, because based on the looks alone, I would put it a little bit lower. It looks really, really bad. But again, a lot of people use this gun in the lobbies I've been playing recently, so it's got to be pretty decent for an SMG. Okay, lads, now we are into the good tier. So guns in this tier are overall pretty good in the grand scheme of Call of Duty. But in this game, there's still a lot of these guns that are just kind of a little bit forgettable. 34th place, the first one for the good tier, is the ZK383. The ZK383 is another one of the SMGs where the magazine comes out of the side, but this one does have a little bit of a twist where the magazine, it comes out of the side but at sort of like an angle and sticks up. So it kind of gives off this like sort of like little like Hornet vibe, where like the Hornets, you know, they have their wings set up like that, which is pretty cool. It's another pretty fast firing gun, kind of like the Wafa. Overall, I don't see that many people using it, so I don't think it's the best out there, but it does look kind of cool. Coming in at number 33 spot, however, 33rd location, is going to be going to the GBD-79. Like, dude, how am I supposed to remember what that gun looks like without looking it up? You know what I mean? Like these names in these COD games are just so weird. Either way, it's very similar to guns like the M38 we were talking about earlier, where it just kind of looks like a regular old assault rifle. It looks normal. The barrel on this gun is like oddly skinny compared to the rest of the gun, but it kind of reminds you of like a wooden, like great value version of an STG. It's fine. Also, you can put like a drum mag on it, which is pretty cool. Coming in at the 32nd location, however, is going to the M1903, another bolt-action sniper rifle. It's one of the bigger bolt-action sniper rifles, so it's a little bit heavier. You know, it's kind of like the DSR 50 compared to the Ballista from Black Ops 2. But overall, back in the day, I do remember people using this gun quite a bit because it was very, very reliable, whereas the Lee Enfield and the Carnegie AK was realistically the one that everybody was using. But the Lee Enfield was the other one that was in there, and it was just a little bit too unreliable. And so the M1903 was like the number one go-to, and it's good. It's a good bolt action heavy hitting sniper rifle. But overall, with all the DLC snipers that they've added into this game that are bolt action, are you actually going to use the M1903 over those? I don't think so. However, coming in at 31st place, barely missing out on the top 30, is going to the VMG 1927. Yet again, another gun where you're like, yep, I'm supposed to remember what that gun is without looking it up. Don't worry, you're not. It's obviously a World War I style, or kind of like World War I, World War II shift style gun, because it says 1927. But either way, it's an LMG that's large. It does actually have fine. I will say this gun has fine iron sights for an LMG. I remember that looking at like gameplay with them. It looked like the iron sights were okay. But overall, it's yet again just another LMG. It's nothing really to write home about. Breaking its way into the top 30, however, and I actually it's something. The M30 Luftwaffe Drilling. The Luftwaffe Drilling is literally the double barrel shotgun. That's what it is. It's a double barrel shotgun. But you actually can do this thing, which is kind of cool with this gun actually, where you can have an attachment that fires a rifle bullet. So it's almost like a sniper rifle for one shot, which is actually pretty cool. Pretty much just a significantly better version of the sawed-off shotgun we were talking about earlier. The handling is fine. It didn't really need the sawed-off shotgun version for the handling. Yeah, finally has the range, and it just feels very, very satisfying to actually use the M30. It just, I don't know what it is. It's like, yeah, it's pretty bad if I'm being honest. Like, you're not gonna get like crazy kill streaks because you do have to reload after every 2 shots. It's not anything like the 7.25. Let's leave it at that. But overall, it's a very satisfying gun to use. All right, here it is. Coming in at 29th place is the gun that we were talking about so much earlier, when it wasn't even its time to shine. The M1941. This is your starting assault rifle in the game. And it's, for a starting assault rifle, it is fine. It shoots very fast, actually, for an assault rifle, and it has a really weird recoil pattern. Like, the recoil pattern it has vertical recoil like you would expect, but it has like random, like jumpy left to right recoil. It's kind of weird. This is one of the ones I've been using recently, so I actually do know what I'm talking about when it comes to this gun. But overall, it's definitely one of the type of ARs where you're going to get rid of it pretty quickly, but it's okay for starting. Coming in at the number 28 spot, I am just so sorry for anybody out there that's, I believe, German, because I believe this is a German gun, but maybe it's not even German. It could be friggin' Belgian, I don't know. It's the Volkssturmgewehr. I hope I pronounced that correct. This is like the AK-47 before the AK-47 became a thing. Like, that's the best way I can put it, man. That's what the Volks always remind me of, and that's what this gun reminds me of as well. It's fine. It's a DLC AR. It's cool. It gets you talking. Volks always get people talking a little bit, and that's cool. Coming in at the number 27 spot, however, is a submachine gun that I have been seeing quite a bit of people actually using in my limited time playing World War II recently. The Orso. The Orso might be meta. It could be meta, and I could be horribly wrong putting it in the good tier. Maybe I should have put it in the best tier, because, like I said, I've been seeing quite a bit of people using it in my lobbies. But yeah, it's another SMG. It looks very reminiscent of like. Ooh, it's hard to say. It's like imagine like a semi-auto rifle in this game, but that's not semi-auto and has a magazine just randomly coming out of the bottom. That's what this gun looks like. Alrighty, lads. Coming in at the number 26 spot, however, is going to be going to the Type 38. I mean, yet again, man, how am I supposed to know what that is, like, off the top of my head? I know I keep mentioning that, I'm sorry, but I do have to mention it, dude. It's like, these names, I get it, they want to be realistic, but change them a little bit so I can know what I'm talking about. The Type 38, either way, is another bolt-action sniper rifle. A lot of people actually do like this gun based on YouTube. It looks extremely large to me. Every time I look at pictures of it in the game, it looks like very, very long, and it looks like just like a basic like musket. Like, this looks like, again, another type of gun that you would use in like the Civil War style setting. But overall, it seems fine. It seems like people like it for a semi-auto gun, and that's good. 25th place is one of the DLC weapons that I actually got to use because I was playing this game when it came out. This was like one of the first DLC weapons the game ever added. The GPMG. This is another LMG. It kind of reminds you a little bit of like the MG15 in the same sense where it's very like circular, very like copper piping style gun, but it's more like compact, I would say. And this came out at the same time during the sten, and when it came out, I do remember having pretty fond memories with it. At the time, we didn't have many LMGs, and a lot of the LMGs we did have were not that great, and the GPMG kind of stood out as being one of the better ones. Okay, yep, sorry. Like, but this is a good but also bad thing, because it's good because the name is different. So I remember what this gun is without having to look it up before recording, so that's a good thing. But the bad thing is the name is too hard to freaking pronounce, man. It's called, and I'm sorry if I'm getting this horribly incorrect, the Bachelwek. Bachelwek? I'm gonna go with Bachelwek. That's the best way I can put it. It looks hilarious. It looks stupid. It doesn't look like a real gun in the slightest bit. But overall, it actually has been, pretty good in the matches I've been playing. People have been using this thing like crazy. It's an SMG that just looks like it's really overall just a solid gun. It just looks so like hilarious though. It doesn't even look real at all. It looks like this looks like the most great value, cheap version of a submachine gun you could buy. Coming in at 23rd place is another gun that's been making its rounds into most of the lobbies I've been in. So again, this might be meta, this might be tech, but I don't know. The EMP44, another SMG that's, yeah, like I said, it's been in most of the matches I've been in. I think it looks fine. This is the type of gun where it's like, if you have to, buy the contract to get it, you're not that mad. You're not that mad because a lot of people are using it. The only downside is this literally looks like, those, blow darts? You blow into blow darts? That's what this gun looks like. It looks like they just took a blow dart circle and just made it into a gun somehow. I don't even understand how this thing has a firing mechanism in it. How is there any mechanism in that makes that gun work? It's so thin and weird. And coming in at the number 22 spot, however, god dang, this video is really going to be long. I'm just starting to realize, dude, every one of these are like 30 seconds long at least, and there are 75 guns. I'm going to have to try and like hustle a little bit. Either way, 22nd is the WZ35. Yes, again, another DLC gun with boring letters for the name, so you have to look it up. It's another bolt action sniper though. This one is yet again extremely long. It looks, the barrel for this gun, if this gun doesn't have the best range of all time, I don't know what gun would, because this thing's barrel is like longer than freaking, it is so long. Okay, it's a very long gun, but overall it looks like another overall pretty average, pretty good bolt action sniper, which is fun. And coming in at the number 21 spot, barely missing out on the top 20, is going to another MG weapon. Yeah, that's another thing that happens in this game. A lot of guns are called like MG42, which is what this one is, but then there's like the MG15 and the MG81. Like, there's so many that are like so similar, the only difference is the numbers. But this is the MG42. This is a very iconic LMG style gun. I love these guns. They're always set up for like, they're always set up on like bipods, turrets, that's the word I was looking for. They're always set up as like turrets in COD games and stuff like that, but this time you actually get to run around and hold this thing in your hands, which is pretty cool. I like it. All right, lads, breaking its way into the top 20, however, is going to the toggle action. The toggle action is this game's semi-auto shotgun. We don't have a lot of those, obviously, in World War II because that wasn't very realistic back then. But that's what this is, man. It's semi-auto shotgun. It looks super boring. I'm gonna be honest. Like it's like the most boring looking gun of all time, but it's actually pretty broken. It's very annoying actually to deal with in like shipment lobbies. People just run around with this thing and just clobber you. Yeah, it's a semi-auto shotgun. It's pretty good. Coming in at 19th place, however, in the final one for the good tier, before we move along into the amazing tier, is the M36. The M36 is a very compact, small style bolt action sniper rifle. It's the last sniper rifle actually in the entire class, which I do believe means that it was probably the last sniper rifle added into the game. So this is probably one of the least, used guns by anybody from World War II. But overall, it looks fine. It looks fun. It looks very, very fast to use. It does obviously get a little bit more hit markers than some of the bigger sniper rifles in this game because it's smaller and faster. That makes sense. But overall, that usually does tend to be the better weapons because even though it's, tiny and fast, or tiny, it makes up for it in its speed. However, now we are into the amazing tier. So guns in this tier are, overall, I've been seeing them quite a bit. I've been seeing them be used quite a bit in my recent playings of World War II, so they've got to be pretty decent. And some of these I've even used myself, and I've been very, very big fan of them. 18th place is going to the Proto X1, an SMG that's overall just pretty strong. It also looks pretty cool too. I actually like this is a wacky looking gun. This is an instance where like the gun looks wacky, but it looks wacky in a cool way where I'm like, you know what? I like that. I have nothing wrong with it. It has like a built-in foregrip and everything too. It's pretty cool. I like the Proto X one. Coming in at 17th place, it's the iconic boy. It's the iconic one, my boy. I keep forgetting to mention whenever there's like a gun that you get after prestiging your division, because this is the MP40, and the MP40 you get after prestiging the airborne division or the SMG style division. For the people who don't know, the sawed-off shotgun is the one that you could get for prestiging the shotgun division, and for the LMGs, I believe it's the MG42 that you get when prestiging the LMG division. Either way, the MP40 is strong as it always is. Is it as strong as like World at War? No, it does shoot a little slow for an SMG in this game. There's so many SMGs in this game that it is kind of like one of the ones where it's like, why would you really pick this over any of the other SMGs? But it's still a very, very well-rounded one. And coming in at number 16 is another one that kind of just fits into that same bill. It's completely different though. It's the Sten. The Sten is one of the only DLC SMGs in this game that I got to use because it came out at the same time the GPMG came out right at the beginning of this game's life cycle, and I did get to use this gun. But overall, it's another, side magazine fed SMG. Like there's like 50 of them in this game for some reason, and it felt strong when using it. Does it feel as strong as another side magazine gun like the cough Type 100? No, not necessarily, but it does feel pretty good. And coming in at the number 15 spot, had a little bit of a fall from grace for sure, but it's overall still pretty good. It's the FG42. The FG42 is a base gun. You don't have to get any DLC to unlock it. That's good, obviously, but overall, it's definitely not as great as the World at War FG42 variant. That one gun was absolutely broken. The FG42 in this game is just overall pretty good. I'm not gonna go right home about the FG42 in this game, but I'm definitely not disappointed using it. And coming in at 14th place is actually another perfect gun that kind of matches right into that. The PTRS-41. The PTRS-41 is obviously used to be like one of the best snipers in World at War. In this game, it's fine. The problem is, as we get more and more along in Call of Duty, more and more into the Call of Duty future, you really start to value speed and handling of guns, whereas back in the old Call of Duties, that really didn't matter as much. And so the PTRS-41 back in the day could really shine, but in this game, it was a little bit harder. It's still super iconic and still is like a freaking one-shot machine. This thing's a beast. It's literally, you're firing anti-tank rounds, so you better not be able to get any hit markers. And it is an absolute unit for a gun, for a sniper for sure, but it's definitely not the best in this game. And coming in at 13th place is, in my opinion, the best of all the secondary weapons in this game, the machine pistol. The machine pistol is exactly how it sounds. It's a full auto machine pistol that very, very obviously unrealistic, probably. I don't think they had a lot of machine pistols back in World War II setting, but either way, it's a very, very strong pistol. It's just, the vast majority of people are probably going to want to use guns that you can afford to miss a few shots with, and the machine pistol is the only real secondary in this game like that. All the other ones have either only 8 rounds and are single fire, or even less rounds and are single fire, and the machine pistol comes in handy. Coming in at 12th place, however, it's just such a well-rounded SMG, man. It's well-rounded in every COD it's ever been put into as well. It's just such a good one. The Type 100. The Type 100, man, is just so iconic. I actually, like, every COD always remastered the Sten. Like, Black Ops 3 had the Sten, Infinite Warfare had the Sten, Advanced Warfare had the Sten. They always brought the Sten back. Well, Infinite Warfare didn't have the Sten, but they brought the Trencher back, which is pretty much the same thing. The Type 100 is what they should have been bringing back. This is just such a good gun. It's always just been really, really good. I love it. It's well-rounded. It's just such a nice little SMG, man. I like it a lot. Coming in at the number 11 spot, barely missing out on the top 10, is going to the 3-line rifle. The 3-line rifle is just a really, really good bolt-action sniper rifle, but I think this is a good time to bring up the fact that I know a lot of sniper rifles probably don't belong all the way up here at the top of these lists. I get that. They don't belong very, very high, because chances are 99% of players out there are obviously going to get a better KD if you just were to use a regular old SMG or regular old assault rifle, even an average assault rifle, or even one of the worst LMGs in the game. You'll probably still get a better KD with that than with a sniper rifle, because they're obviously very hard to use, and you can only shoot one shot at a time. But this is why I always say that these lists are ranked based on personal opinion, because if I was ranking them based on like your potential to get a good KD, it would just be such a boring list and all the snipers would be at the bottom. But I love sniping. It's one of my favorite forms of playing Call of Duty. And so, yeah, the snipers get a little bit higher than they probably belong. And the 3-line rifle is here at the number 11 spot. However, breaking its way into the old top 10 locations is the combat shotgun. Yeah, remember how I was talking about earlier how the toggle action is annoying to play against? Well, the combat shotgun makes you want to punch a hole through your TV. This thing is in every single shipment lobby and gets one shots from across the freaking map. I don't understand how this gun is so freaking broken. It is a pump action shotgun. It's cool. You know, it's the only pump action shotgun we have in this game, which I gotta give credit where credit is due. I like pump action shotguns, so I do like that. It's fun in that sense. And I'm actually happy that it's the combat shotgun that's broken and not like the double barrel or the toggle action. I'm happy that this is the one because it's the one that is the most fun to use, but it's still so annoying to go against this freaking thing. It's so broken. Coming in at 9th place, however, is going to be going to the STG-44. Yep, the STG makes a return, and it's pretty broken this time. There's been a couple of times where, obviously, Call of Duty has brought back the STG in a couple of other CODs. I think Black Ops... I almost said Black Ops 3, but I do not think they had it in Black Ops 3. Advanced Warfare, I'm pretty sure, had it. Yeah, Advanced Warfare did, yes. And then I don't think Infinite Warfare did. But either way, they brought it back a couple times, and it's always been just kind of average, if I'm being honest. It's never been that great. But in this game, it actually does feel great, which is, you know, in my opinion, a good thing. I like when the STG feels good because the STG is a fun gun to use and it looks super cool and everything. This is like the M4 before the M4 was a thing. Like, this is just the assault rifle in my opinion. However, coming in at 8th place and the final one for the amazing tier before we get into the best tier is the Grease Gun. Mainly because of the freaking name, man. That's just a cool name. I'm sorry. I like that name, Grease Gun. Like, yeah, obviously when you think of Grease Gun, you think of an actual like grease gun, not this. This is just such a cool little SMG. And that's what it is. It's a relatively slow firing SMG actually. It's not that fast firing for the SMGs in this game. And if I'm being 100% honest, it's actually not really, I don't really see it that much in many of the lobbies I join. And so it's probably not that great, but I just love it. And it's your starting SMG too, which is it's iconic, man. It's like this game's like MP5, if that makes any sense. All right, but now we are into the best tier. So these guns in this tier, man, I don't even need to think about them. Even I know that they're great. 7th place is the Kar 98K. This is first of all a non-DLC sniper rifle, which is obviously a really good start. But then it's also super iconic. Like the Kar 98K is a super iconic gun. It's super fast. It's heavy hitting. It is just such a good gun. The only slight downside to it is this is the prestige gun that you get for the snipers class. I believe that division is called the Mountain Division, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's infantry for the SVT-40, airborne for the MP-40, mountain for the Kar 98K, armored for the MG-42, and then the last one's like expeditious or something like that, like expedition or some, I don't know, something like along those lines for the sawed-off shotgun. But either way, yeah, the Kar 98K is just a really, really good sniper rifle and very fun to use. Coming at 6th place, however, is a gun that used to be absolutely broken when the game first launched. It has probably been nerfed a little bit, but it still feels extremely strong. Unfortunately, though, there's just been so many DLC guns at this point that it's not in the top 3 anymore. But it's the bar, dude. I remember when this game first launched, almost every single human being alive was using the bar because it was just so good. It was like, do you guys remember the Man O' War from Black Ops 3? It was like the Man O' War, but in this game. It had no recoil, hit like a truck, and was just such a good gun. And then on top of that all, it looks cool. Like the bar just looks like a good old assault rifle in World War II. And coming in at 5th place, however, is a very, very boring looking gun, if I'm going to be honest, but it's very strong. The Automaton. That sounds like a gun, that sounds like a name of like a boss fight in Skyrim, in like one of the dwarven caves, where it would be like some sort of like robotic beast creature. The Automaton is just kind of weird. But either way, it's a full auto assault rifle that just hits like a freaking truck. It 2 shots. It's super good. It's really big, so it kind of has like slow handling like the bar, but a lot of the guns in this game tend to be okay if that's the case. Coming in at 4th place, however, is going to be going to an absolutely broken SMG, and it is unfortunately a DLC SMG. It's the Irma EMP. It's just, I mean, every single freaking game that you go into, people are going to be using the Irma, man. Every one of them. And they are going to 2 or 3 shot you with this thing on hip fire. Like, this thing is so broken that they're just running around hip fire. They're not even aiming down sights and just 2 or 3 shotting you with this thing. It's actually kind of annoying because, again, it's a DLC SMG and not a lot of us can get it unless you have to wait for the contract to come around with 5,000 credits. And then if it does come around and you don't have the 5,000 credits to buy it, you're screwed. you gotta just wait for it to come back the next time. And it's kind of annoying in that sense, but it's really, really good. And coming in at 3rd place, I know it doesn't belong all the way up here. I know everybody from COD World War II fan club is gonna come out of their little like hermit hatches and start yelling at me. It's the Lee Enfield. The Lee Enfield is the starting bolt action sniper rifle in World War II, and I just have so many good memories with the Lee Enfield, man. And I've been using it a lot recently when playing World War II again. And I know that when doing research for this video, a lot of the community was saying the Lee Enfield is actually one of the weaker bolt-action sniper rifles in this game. But as of right now, it's the only one that I've actually been able to really use. I have used the Carabin and a little bit of the M1903, but that's all I've been able to use so far, and it feels a lot of fun, man, and it feels pretty reliable to me. Maybe you guys are just not aiming correctly. Ooh, eat that. However, coming in at second place, I'm actually super happy that this gun is all the way up here because, well, I'll explain in a second. Because second place is the PPSH 41. Obviously, I love the PPSH. The PPSH, every time it makes a return, it's in Black Ops 6 right now. I was so happy when they brought it back for Black Ops 6. Every time the PPSH comes back, I'm a happy lad. I love the PPSH. It's one of my favorite guns of all time. And when it's broken, I'm okay with that, honestly, because I love how it is. But on top of that all, it's a base game gun too, and it's broken for a base game gun, which is so, refreshing to see, because that means that you can compete with anybody as long as you get the PPSH unlocked. And that's a really quick gun to unlock too. It's the second SMG in the game. It's just such a good gun, man. It's always been a good gun, and it's great in this game as well. It's just so fast firing, it's so good. I want to go use it right now. But I can't, because I gotta not only finish this video, but then also gotta do my taxes tonight, man. I'm so mad. First place is the Itra Burst, however, though. I mean, it's a surprise to absolutely nobody. This is a one burst assault rifle in this game that's just absolutely strong. I will say one thing: if you're playing Shipment 24/7, which you're probably going to do, it's actually not like the best, because obviously it's better at range. But once you get on any map where there's any sort of range and cover and stuff like that, the Itra Burst will pop people off of head glitches all day long. This thing has no recoil, is a 3-round burst assault rifle. It's very, very reminiscent to the COD 4 M16, as a matter of fact. Like, that's how strong the Itra Burst is. I cannot explain to you the amount of times where I'm like 500 feet away with a Lee Enfield in a team deathmatch game, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm strong, baby, I'm in a good position, and then some guy from actually Narnia one burst me with the Itra Burst, and I'm just like, whatever. If you can get the Itra Burst, get the Itra Burst. It's freaking broken. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video, ranking all 75 Call of Duty World War II guns from worst to best. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos I'd like to see in the comment section down below. Check the links in the description for all my other social medias and all that great mumbo jumbo. And obviously, next video is going to be on all the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 guns. And don't worry, from here on out, the videos will get a little bit shorter. This is probably going to be the longest video for all the gun rankings, because this is the game, obviously, with the most guns. 75 guns. That's an insane task to take. So give a like, if you enjoyed. I'd greatly appreciate that. That's for sure. And let me know anything I got wrong. I'm sure I got a ton of things wrong. I also would like to be noticed in the comments when it comes to any of the bad pronunciation. If I pronounce something horribly, let me know in the comments as well. Just let me know what you guys are thinking. I would actually love to see what the community is thinking when it comes to World War II, because like I said, I've been playing this game like crazy lately, so I'd like to see like what guns I should spend my armory credits on and try leveling up and all that stuff, and try getting gold or whatever. But either way, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Black Ops 4 is next. I gotta go, like I said, do my taxes, unfortunately. Sorry again if my nasally congestion started happening in this video. I deeply apologize for that one. But either way, das Vidania, and have a nice night.